Sweet. Cool. Right, mate. Let's get cracking.
Okay.
So yeah, firstly, just wanted to say welcome, Lloyd, to our little Zoom chat, mate. We've had many a chat, but never on Zoom, I don't think. So
No.
Thanks for stopping us. Obviously, you've got your little new addition, which is Olivia, which is taking up a bit of sleep now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So firstly, mate, just wanted to sort of introduce the kind of topic. Obviously, you and I have, we've been to a few parties together, and we've done a few other bits and pieces, rugby together and stuff like that, which is quite cool. But just sort of like maybe just give us a little idea as to why you wanted help at the time you did, mate, just so we can set the scene a little bit.
Okay. Well, I think there was probably, I think obviously COVID played a big part of things. I've probably always relied on rugby to have a base level of fitness.
Yeah.
Never really done anything outside of rugby. Obviously got quite a physical job with the farm, but then I was probably quite aware that my fitness levels weren't where they needed to be even last season. And then when the rugby stopped, it was like, this is probably going to get out of hand quite quickly if I don't do something. And I think, again, there was two reasons really. One is your home life. We've got, well, obviously, as you've just alluded to, I have one small child when we started, and I've now got two. And so energy levels, you don't want to get in at the end of a day and just be wiped out. Like Fernley wants to play, and you want to try and help Sammy, and so energy levels need to be a bit higher.
Yeah.
So that was one reason, and then the other was the rugby. I sort of feel I don't want to stop yet, and I just sort of thought as time was going on, I was like, I'm not going to be anywhere near where I need to be when we go back. So I think that was why I wanted to do it. And yeah.
And the energy levels, like you say, so that you can go and do things you want to do during the day as well.
Yeah.
Because like you say, you've got a physical job too. So what I guess, like, when you started it, obviously we talk about energy levels, we talk about those sort of things. Was there anything that you were worried about, like, starting? Did you have any concerns, or were you just kind of like fairly happy because you obviously knew a little bit about what we did anyway? But
yeah, I don't think I had concerns. I think it was about probably creating a routine. So obviously since March done nothing really apart from work. So all of a sudden it was trying to work out, speaking of Sammy, like, how are we going to fit in a 40-minute session? Where are we going to fit that in a day? For me, with work, mornings is out of it really, because we start early. So I sort of said, right, we're going to have to do it when I finish work. It's just going to be like literally come in the door, go and do it, and then we'll have tea and we'll spend the evening together. And that actually worked really well, better than I would have thought, because obviously the option is to do basically what we discussed at the start, was to do 3 to 5 sessions a week, something like that. And I was ending up doing 6, maybe 7 a week, just because actually when the at home thing, because you haven't got to go anywhere, it's literally 40 minutes. Or sometimes, if I got to be honest, if we were in a real rush, I wouldn't necessarily do a lot of stretching at the end. So all of a sudden you're 35 minutes. And that you can soon lose 35 minutes, can't you? Like, you sit and watch one program, that's half an hour gone, isn't it? So that was the way I sort of viewed it. So I would try and get in 6, quarter past, and by 7 o'clock I was showered and sat down and we were eating tea. So it actually fitted into a day really well, up until, like I say, 12 days ago when Olivia was born. All of a sudden, when you come in and they're screaming, you maybe aren't. You've got to maybe work around things a little bit differently. But no, I think it's about just getting into your routine, really.
Yeah, cool. So obviously, having played rugby and had that routine, like, what would you say, like, fitness wise, that you've you either felt you were missing, or you kind of wanted a bit more of? Was it, was it the condition? Was it the strength? Well, tell me the flexibility. Where were you at, mate? Where were you at?
I think, like I said to you at the start, I think I would have always classed myself as fat fit, which would have meant I was fit, had a decent fitness level, but probably always carrying a little bit of fat.
Yeah.
And I was just I think by the time I spoke to you in December, that was very much leaning more towards the fat and the less fit. So fitness was the big thing. Weight, if I'm honest, weight wasn't a massive thing, because especially with the rugby, I didn't want to go crazy weight, like lose a lot of weight, but I kind of knew that was naturally going to happen. But fitness was a big thing for me. I wanted to get, well, with everything, like we said, energy levels. And then when we're playing rugby, the fitter you are, the better you are, isn't it? So that was, the fitness was probably more of a thing to me than the weight, if I'm honest.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you said, the weight perhaps just a consequence of cleaning up your diet a little bit, making a few small changes there, having a little bit more of an insight into, training efficiently in between, and also, some of that work as well, including some mobility sessions in there for you, which I think when you go back to playing rugby, you'll feel the difference then when you're when you're in the ruck and that stuff like that. So what obviously, I think, like, I had a look at your before and after, your before and now pictures, shall we say, 4.5 inches off the waist. It's a big difference, isn't it? It's you do look like real good now, so like you must be happy with like that. Like, that's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if you told me that 6 weeks ago, I would have not laughed, but it would have been I wouldn't have necessarily thought it was possible. But now when you actually think about it, you've gone from doing very little exercise to pretty much exercising every day. Your diet, when I think about, I'd probably become a bit of a snacker. Like like you would just find yourself, when you got up in the morning, when you came in for a meal, you'd go to the cupboard and just get a biscuit for like no reason. And if you think, I don't know, I might have been eating 20 biscuits a week, say. Well, you just cut that out, take away everything else. Like it was a natural thing that was probably gonna, but I think probably weight wise, I've gone back maybe 6 or 7 years to where the weight was. But I think body image wise, I don't think I've actually ever looked like I am now, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, you look great, mate. I think I'm actually, because I love it, because I kind of look up now and I'm like, I can't wait to see you in like 10-12 weeks time, and we've done a bit more on that. So I think you're going to look, mate, like you say, so it's going to be great. I think what would you say to somebody like Lloyd, who, even not like yourself, but maybe like yourself, who got to that point, describe, like, if somebody said to you right now, like, oh Lord, I feel like I'm in a similar place to where you are, like, what would you kind of say to them, like, about, how they met, or what sort of things? Because some people just like kind of fearful about starting these things or whatever.
Now it's easy, isn't it? Like, you just, why did you wait? Because like I said to you before, I was probably umming and ahhing about it for months, probably 3 months, maybe something like that. And before I actually spoke, and I think it was actually you text me to say someone had said to you, God, it looks like Lloyd spread a bit. And I was like, right.
That was Ollie. Cheeky bugger.
So, but that sort of, those sort of comments maybe, and you've just got to have it. It's all about you as an individual, isn't it? Because it's there, but you've just got to do it. So I don't know, I would just say, don't be worried. Like, a person in my situation, maybe with the sport, there was an element of, not shame, a bit of embarrassment a bit, because I sort of felt I should be able to do this myself. Like, I shouldn't really need help. But I think as a sports person, because as a player, you've always been accountable to a coach, you must train, you turn up, you have certain standards. And within reason, I've kind of replaced the rugby with this for this period, because I'm now accountable to you. Like, if I don't train and I don't eat right, at the end of a week when I do my measurements, you're going to know. So, and instead of being, and the competitive side of things as well, I found myself, it was funny because you're used to competing with players in training or opposition in a game, whereas I was competing with myself in your session. Like, right, last time I did 6 burpees in this time I'm going to do 7. And it was like stupid, really, but that's what drives you to do it. And ultimately, then you're going to get the results. It's like with anything in life, isn't it? Like, the more you do it, or the harder you work, the better results, really.
Yeah. I mean, like, one of the things that strikes me about some of the things we've already talked about is that you've actually found the way that the program is set up now quite convenient for your lifestyle. You know, busy guy, 2 children, farm. You know, and you obviously like to spend time with Sammy as well. So one of the things that strikes me is that you've actually made the most of the convenience at this time. So like, you haven't had to drive to the gym, you know, and you know, obviously going to the gym is a great thing to do, you know, but equally it's got to work for you, hasn't it? Not against you. I think you know, you've really made the most of that, and being able to do it at home, and and like you say, you've had the support of people around you, which has obviously helped. And I think we'll continue to do that. You know, you've obviously got a good, like, you know, good support network, which is good. Cool, mate. I think that's great. Is there anything else you want to add, really, mate, at this stage? I'm really happy with that. I think I just wanted to share really with, you know, there'll be a lot of people who watch this who know us both really well as friends. And, you know, and that's great. And I think, you know, as I said to you yesterday when I messaged you, like, you know, for me, when I get asked by one of my friends to help them, like, there's no bigger honor really for me. So, you know,
all I would say is probably I think, as a thank you to you guys, like yourself, obviously, is the leading force, but obviously Harry, Mike, they all do their job. And like I said, you guys, you have made it easy for people, because like you said, to be honest, if you didn't do it at home thing, I would really struggle. I probably would have, that was almost a tipping point on the decision, really, because that was one of the questions I asked you. Was the main question, wasn't it? Can I do it at home? And I think you guys have facilitated that. So not just for me, obviously for everybody. So
you can see within the group, can't you? It obviously works really well for a lot of people. You know, everybody's doing those sessions, but even some of them are at different times of the day, aren't they? So
well, you see it, like, because you get notifications all the time, and it's like you say, but it's what works for people, isn't it? So but no, I think it's really, really good.
Cool. All right, mate. Well, listen, I've just wanted to just say thank you very much for, you know, a little bit of time tonight. I appreciate that, and looking forward to helping you out even more in a minute. All right.
No,
thank you, buddy.